all, so the first night of preseason is wrapping up right now. I believe the Trailblazers Kings game is still finishing up right now. But first off, I'm just going to say I am so ecstatic that the NBA is finally back. Since 7 o'clock hit, I've just been in such a good mood, sitting back, relaxing, watching some basketball, and as we always do at the start of every season, overreacting to the players and teams that play well and the players and teams that play bad. So I wanted to just do a quick video talking about some points that I saw from just watching through all the teams today, and we're gonna have some fun and just overreact together. During the offseason, I was constantly pushing the hashtag free Derrick Rose movement, and I still stand by it. Pistons need to get rid of him and just get some picks or something valuable out of him, and that's a point I'll be getting to later. But I wanted to mention another player who's joining the movement, and that is Aaron Gordon. So from now on, I will be also adding in the free Aaron Gordon movement, and this is just because the Magic aren't going anywhere with their current team. Aaron Gordon seems like he's finally blossoming into a very quality NBA player, and it's just about time the Magic decide to blow things up and go a different route. Go forward with Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, and a few of their younger guys as your core. Get rid of Aaron Gordon, maybe get rid of Nikola Vucevic if they can find a potential suitor for him, just because I know his market probably isn't too insane, but Aaron Gordon, he has a market. There's been plenty of trade rumors surrounding him in the past, and I just think it's too much. It makes too much sense for the Magic to just trade him, get some younger assets and picks, because it seems like Aaron Gordon is on his way, like I said, to being a quality NBA player. In addition to that, you'll also be seeing me on Twitter, throwing around the hashtag free Aaron Gordon on any retweets that involve any rumors or just stats involving Aaron Gordon. I already do with Derrick Rose. We're adding Aaron Gordon to the list. Next up, one thing that really hit me in today's games that didn't quite hit the same during the offseason when these moves were happening is that the Atlanta Hawks are a very, very, very deep team. Obviously, they have just a whole lot of added talent to the team. Today, their starting lineup was Trae Young, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Clint Capella, John Collins, and DeAndre Hunter. And then, in addition to that, off the bench, they had Cam Reddish, Danilo Gallinari, they didn't have Chris Dunn playing today, but he was off the bench. I'm forgetting one name right now. Oh yes, Kevin Huerter, that's the other one. And also, they have Rondo and Onyeka Okongwu and plenty of other guys. This is just seeing them out on a court finally and just realizing that they're going to have a three-man, bench rotation that will be involving, guys like Huerter, Reddish, and Danilo Gallinari. Those guys should just carve up other second units, and I might have to readjust my rankings on the Hawks. In my opinion, I think they're going to have to find some sort of late game scorer or late game go-to guy, because as of now, there's no one on the team who's a proven clutch player. The veteran of the team is Danilo Gallinari, but he's never been the type of guy to hit big shots. So that'll be something that will be important for them to figure out as the season goes on. But outside of that, they have a deep rotation and a lot of exciting young players. Now, bringing back the whole free Derrick Rose movement, another point I wanted to make is that the Pistons just simply have to be sellers this season. Blake Griffin was looking very healthy on the court. He's even diving for loose balls, which, it's preseason. I guess he really wants to show off that he is healthy and willing to put his body on the line for a terrible Detroit Pistons team. And, Derrick Rose, I've been saying it all along. They could probably get at least the first round pick or a young, talent for him. Blake Griffin could probably bring in, a few picks and maybe even a young player with him. But it's definitely time for this team to just, like the Magic need to do, it's time for them to just sell, build around Killian Hayes, Sekou Doumbouya, Jeremy Grant, who I'm not going to go into Jeremy Grant today after his performance. It was only one game, so I don't want to be too harsh, but not great things from Jeremy Grant today. But yeah, they need to build around their young core, get rid of these older veteran guys, and obviously you can keep some of them, but Steve McKinley also caught my eye today. He had some nice stretches of play, but yeah, Pistons, they need to be sellers this season. Moving on to Houston, I was on record saying months ago that I thought the Rockets were going to be the dark horse team in the Western Conference and surprise people and catch some people off guard with how well they finished the season, obviously barring no injuries. But this was all before, John Wall and Boogie and all this stuff, all this drama happened, and I was sticking with Westbrook and James Harden, and them just being able to acquire a bigger two and make another deep playoff run. Then that thought kind of dwindled after the drama happened, and then obviously the Westbrook trade and all the signings happened. But I'm back on the bandwagon. Again, there's only one game, and that's the reason why we are calling this overreacting. But John Wall and Boogie Cousins both looked great. They looked healthy. Hopefully, they can maintain this. And I mean, the Rockets played without Christian Wood, PJ Tucker, and James Harden, who are all starter caliber players. Some of them more obviously, but I think if these guys play well to start the season, especially in these preseason games without James Harden, I think it's just more reasoning for Harden to not leave and want to play and finish out his contract in Houston, because it's really looking like they actually have a squad forming here. And again, we also have to add in PJ Tucker and Christian Wood, who are plus defenders. And even just looking back on the end of last season, in the second half, the Rockets were a above average defensive team, so it's not like their defense is terrible. James Harden's not a bad defender himself, and again, it's just all the pieces are seeming to come together in Houston. Their bench is still a little bit weak, but again, there's guys that they've played in the system. It's all going to come down to how effective Coach Silas can be in his coaching methods, and obviously, will James Harden sit out or will James Harden play? I really hope he plays, because I think this team has contending potential. In the Bulls game, the lone bright spot for the Bulls was Patrick Williams, their 4th overall pick. He just looked really comfortable. That was the word I was seeing most when scrolling through Twitter, looking at people talking about the game. He looked really comfortable. Had a lot of dribble pull-up middies where he just looked fluid. They went in pretty easily and effortlessly, and he just ticked a lot of boxes of being a good player while on the court. Now, obviously, he's not perfect. He still doesn't have crazy potential to be an MVP someday, but it is looking like the Bulls hit on a very, very solid role player at the least. And I'll even admit I was a little skeptical of the Patrick Williams selection on draft night, but he is quickly turning a corner for me, and I am now excited to see what he's able to do and how he progresses throughout his rookie season and obviously further down his career. Another rookie who made a lot of headlines today was Obi Toppin, and him being on the Knicks might honestly be the perfect scenario for him, because the defensive issues are definitely still there. They're going to be there for, I believe, at least a few seasons until he fixes them, but because he's on the Knicks and they're not going to be in any important games anytime soon, there's no reason, he's not going to be hated on for it. Everyone's going to see his offensive highlights, his great offensive play, which he showed off today, and exactly what happened today. Everyone just went crazy for the highlights, and everyone's loving Obi Toppin now, and they're already naming him the savior of New York basketball. So obviously, I don't think he's going to be the savior, but people were excited. I think he's going to do just enough to not be scrutinized, at least until later in his career, once people finally realize, oh, this guy hasn't won anything meaningful, but he's a great offensive player, so we give him that. But yeah, he hasn't. It's going to be one of those types of careers so far. And then finally, the last point I wanted to make, last little overreaction, is I think if the Blazers can just stay healthy for once in these past couple of years, I think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with in the Western Conference. Damian Lillard in his prime is going to be playing at an MVP level. He's got CJ McCollum on his side. Those guys have been playing together for years now. They work perfectly together. They understand. They might not be the best defensive duo, but they make up for that with their offense. And now they added plenty of wings. They have Robert Covington, Derrick Jones Jr. added to the roster. Yusuf Nurkic is going to be back from injury. They have Zach Collins, who's going to be healthy again. Overall, they just have so many pieces. They have scoring off the bench with Gary Trent, who also brings some defense. They have Melo, who can go give you 20 points on any given night. And Anthony Simons is a good backup point guard. Even Harry Giles was looking amazing in the game, at least the portions I watched that he played in today, which is being an uber athletic defensive big, which is perfectly what they need. Just someone that can be mobile, can help switch, help guard out on the perimeter a little bit, and just be able to defend a pick and roll. Overall, I really think that all the pieces could be there for the Trailblazers to make another, even Western Conference championship run at least. And, Lillard and the rest of the team made it there a few years ago. Obviously, they were just ran through by injuries, but now we see a complete Lillard. Not even, I don't want to say complete, but we're seeing the best Lillard with the best team he has had in his entire career, and it's looking like it's going to be a recipe for a lot of fun and a lot of winning. And they're just an easy team to root for, and I will be on that bandwagon rooting along with them. And that's all I have for today, at least from the first night of NBA games. Yeah, just a lot of overreacting from one preseason game that means absolutely nothing in terms of standing and stuff, but that's the fun of the NBA. So drop your comments down below on what you thought about my overreactions, or give me some of your overreactions from the first night. And while you're down there, maybe think about hitting the like button if you enjoyed this video or enjoy this type of content. And other than that, as always, most importantly, thank you for watching.